Late December, and a biting wind swept through Crestwood. The 6:45 bell was a starting pistol, unleashing a riot of celebration. The high school erupted as if a firecracker had been lit in its heart. Textbooks and papers flew, landing in drifts against the lockers, and students spilled from classrooms in jubilant clusters, their voices a chaotic chorus of holiday plans. A few boys from the junior class cornered Ryan at the back door of their classroom, a lanky one slinging a friendly arm around his neck. He was told they were all heading to Jake's for a bonfire and grill out, the one they'd been planning for weeks, and that tonight was the night. Ryan pushed the arm off, an inexplicable irritation flaring in his almond-shaped eyes. He said he couldn't make it, that something had come up. He had other plans and would have to catch them next time. They pressed him, asking what could possibly be more important than their first night of winter break. One suggested they could call his parents and say he was staying the night. With a frustrated sigh, Ryan explained that his brother was back from his year abroad. His parents were dragging him to the airport for the pickup. His mom, he lamented, had threatened to break his legs if he didn't show up. There was no way out of it. The mention of his brother made the boys pause. The one who had been speaking most widened his eyes, seeking confirmation. He asked if Ryan meant the Ethan. Hearing the name, Ryan's handsome face tightened, and he gave a short, muffled agreement. The group of boys exchanged surprised glances before breaking into wide, enthusiastic grins. They clapped him on the shoulder, exclaiming what incredible news that was. They wondered aloud why he hadn't told them sooner. In that case, they wouldn't keep him. But he had to promise to bring Ethan to hang out with them soon. With a chorus of goodbyes, they were gone, clattering down the stairs and vanishing into the tide of students. He knew that would be their reaction. Ryan's expression soured further. He pulled a new disposable mask from his pocket, tore open the plastic, and fitted it over his face. The wrapper was balled up and tossed into a nearby trash can before he turned and headed out of the building. In the northern states, winter days were short. The streetlights were already on, their warm glow illuminating the festive wreaths and strings of colored lights adorning the lamp posts. A short distance away, a black Range Rover pulled to the curb. A woman leaned out, calling his name. She stepped out of the car, a vibrant cashmere scarf in her hands, and looped it around his neck as he approached. She spoke of the evening traffic, worried they'd be late and leave his brother waiting in the cold at the airport. Hearing the undisguised concern for Ethan in her voice, Ryan scoffed. He muttered that Ethan was a grown man, perfectly capable of dressing warmly without her worrying about him. His mother tapped his temple gently, chiding him for his tone. She then pointed out that he wasn't even wearing the down jacket she'd brought for him, asking if he thought his thin school jacket was warm enough for the freezing weather. Ryan grumbled that the bulky coat made it hard to write and got into the car, a small part of his imbalance soothed by her nagging. Inside the spacious, leather-scented interior, a man with a gentle demeanor and glasses sat in the driver's seat. He caught Ryan's eye in the rearview mirror and smiled, asking how long his break was. Ryan greeted his father and replied that it was just under a month. As his mother settled into the passenger seat, his father remarked that the break seemed too short. His mother readily agreed, adding that junior year was always intense, reminding them that Ethan had gone through the same thing. As his father turned off the interior light, he chuckled, recalling how inseparable the two brothers had been as children. He remembered a time when Ryan had insisted on sleeping in Ethan's room every night. He wondered aloud when they had become so formal with each other. His mother added that it was just how boys were, and that they would be close again after spending some time together. She told Ryan to be more enthusiastic, mentioning that Ethan had said he missed him during their last phone call. The back seat was a cocoon of darkness, intermittently pierced by the passing city lights that swept across Ryan's face. He pulled down the mask, his lips pressed into a thin line, his breathing quickening slightly. He wanted to be enthusiastic about his brother's return. The problem was, had Ethan ever shown him any enthusiasm? Never. In fact, it was the opposite. For years, he had been the silent recipient of criticism from his parents and friends, all of whom thought he was the one who gave Ethan the cold shoulder. They said he was always confrontational, always looking for a fight. And though they meant no harm, the accusations stung, a bitter pill he couldn't spit out. Ethan was a chameleon, a master of deception. In public, he was the model son, the perfect student. In private, he was a tormentor, a petty tyrant who had made Ryan's life a quiet misery. Whatever Ryan liked, Ethan took. Gifts, toys, clothes, even the girl he had a crush on. For 2 or 3 years, this silent bullying had been relentless. Ryan had counted the days until Ethan went to college, and when Ethan was selected for the exchange program in Europe, it felt like a liberation. He had been ecstatic, practically floating through the house with a permanent smile, reveling in the dark scowl that had settled on Ethan's face. But on the night before Ethan left, the lock on his bedroom door had been picked. Ethan had pulled him from his bed, yanking him up by the collar of his pajamas, his smile unervingly sharp in the darkness. He had asked Ryan if he was happy to see him go. The room was pitch black. Ryan, groggy with sleep, had mumbled for him to get out. Ethan had ignored him. He pushed Ryan's shoulders down, tossing the comforter aside and kneeling on the bed over him. His voice was a low, menacing command. He warned Ryan to behave for the next year. No dating, no messing around with anyone. If he didn't listen, Ethan promised he would regret it. Ryan had struggled, a cry of enraged helplessness escaping him. He had demanded to know who Ethan thought he was, what right he had to control him. Ethan had simply pressed a finger to his lips, hushing him. The expression on his face was one that outsiders would have called gentle. He had called him his little oak tree, and promised to bring him a present if he was good. Then, just as suddenly, he had released him, his arrogant posture returning as he sauntered out of the room. That was the kind of bully he was, and Ryan had no defense against him. He had even, for a time, been forced to send weekly reports on his activities during Ethan's year away. At first, under duress, he complied. But after realizing Ethan was an ocean away and couldn't physically retaliate, Ryan had blocked his number and enjoyed a blissful period of peace. It wasn't that he hadn't been loved before, but Ethan's oppressive presence had always cast a shadow over his happiness. Ryan saw himself as an ordinary high school kid, decent grades, decent looks, a mix of strengths and weaknesses. He was content with that. He felt a mix of admiration and a small, bitter seed of jealousy for Ethan, who had been showered with praise since birth, but he wanted nothing more than to be left alone. He was willing to be the supporting actor, the green leaf to Ethan's brilliant flower, but for some reason, Ethan would never let him be. Predictably, blocking Ethan hadn't been the end of it. Ethan had started contacting their mother frequently, and soon, Ryan's phone was confiscated under the pretext of focusing on his studies. His outings with friends were also curtailed, an idea he was certain that had originated with Ethan. Their mother wasn't Ethan's biological parent, nor was his father Ryan's. They were a blended family, but a long and happy one. His father treated both boys equally, but his mother had always been lenient with Ethan. She rarely disciplined him, partly because Ethan was mature beyond his years and rarely needed it, and partly as a strategic move. Ethan's biological mother was constantly trying to lure him back into her new, wealthy life, and his stepmother's indulgence was a way of earning his loyalty. Under this joint surveillance, Ryan's life had narrowed to a single path: studying. And to his surprise, his grades had actually improved. But the good times were over. The year-long exchange was finished. Ethan was back. Ryan's peaceful existence was about to end. His mood was heavier than if he were heading to a funeral. The black Range Rover sped along the highway, reaching Crestwood International Airport in 40 minutes. The terminal was teeming with people returning for the holidays. Ryan trailed behind his parents, his hands shoved deep in his pockets, his head down. With every step toward the arrival's gate, his heart hammered a little faster. Escape scenarios flickered through his mind. He didn't want to see Ethan. Not at all. His phone was in the car, so he couldn't use that as a shield. Faking a stomach ache now would be too obvious. As they neared the gate, his steps grew heavier, more reluctant. His mother noticed her lagging son and stopped, turning with a raised eyebrow to ask what was wrong with him. Ryan's gaze darted around and landed on a brightly lit gelato shop. An idea sparked. He pointed, telling his mother he wanted some. She questioned the wisdom of eating ice cream in the dead of winter, but his father intervened, noting the shop was popular with young people and saying they should let him have it. Ryan grinned and held out his hand, explaining that he only had his school lunch card, no cash or phone. A few minutes later, holding his father's phone, he was standing in the longest line he could find at the gelato shop. His parents waited a short distance away. He ordered an orange cream swirl in a waffle cone and watched the employee prepare it with rapt attention, deliberately drawing out the process. He wore his blue Crestwood high jacket, which stood out in the crowd of bulky winter coats. A dark cashmere scarf obscured the lower half of his face, leaving only his almond-shaped eyes and long lashes visible. A few girls glanced his way, whispering amongst themselves. Finally, the cone was in his hand. Ryan felt a small, vindictive satisfaction. Let Ethan wait. He deserved it. The family finally made it to the arrivals area. It was even more crowded now, with 2 international flights having landed simultaneously. A sea of unfamiliar faces filled the hall. His mother asked for help spotting his brother, complaining that her eyesight wasn't what it used to be. His father calmly reassured her. Ryan took a large bite of the orange gelato, licking his lower lip and pretending to scan the crowd. The scarf had slipped down, revealing his sharp jawline and fair skin. His lips were flushed and damp from the cold treat. And then, to his dismay, he found him. Ryan cursed his own sharp eyesight. He could always pick Ethan out of a crowd. The young man in the long, khaki trench coat, pulling a single suitcase, was walking slowly toward them. As if sensing his gaze, Ethan's eyes narrowed slightly, and a faint smile touched his lips. Ryan's heart skipped a beat. He quickly looked away, pretending he hadn't seen him. His parents, however, had spotted him now. His father raised a hand and waved, calling out Ethan's name. Ethan quickened his pace, closed the distance, and dropped his suitcase to give his mother a warm hug. He was back, he announced to his parents. Then he embraced his father, who was beaming with joy. His father then declared that Ryan had come too, that he had missed Ethan terribly over the past year. He suggested the 2 brothers should hug to celebrate. Caught off guard, Ryan's eyes locked with Ethan's. A year had made a difference. Ethan's features were sharper, more defined, the last traces of boyishness replaced by a confident maturity. His long, handsome eyes held a warm, friendly smile. The genetic lottery was so unfair, Ryan thought resentfully. He had missed him? That was a lie. But before he could protest, Ethan had released their father and was standing before him, his tall frame casting a shadow. With his back to their parents, Ethan's gaze sharpened, though the smile on his flawless face remained. His eyes dropped to Ryan's lips. "My dear brother," he said, each word deliberate and low. "I missed you too." And then he pulled Ryan into a hug. It happened so fast Ryan had no time to react. He was enveloped in Ethan's arms, his only thought to hold the gelato cone away from them. But as Ethan's arms tightened, he heard him whisper, his voice a silken threat against his ear. "Let's see if you've been a good boy this year." Sparks of anger ignited in Ryan's eyes. He tried to pull away, to aim an elbow into Ethan's ribs, but his father's cheerful voice cut through his rage. His dad was telling Ethan how well-behaved Ryan had been, how he'd even placed 52nd in the city on a recent standardized test. Out of his parents' sight, Ethan pressed Ryan's head firmly against his chest. He chuckled softly, his voice a low rumble that vibrated through Ryan's skull. "It seems he has been very good." The warmth from his body and the deep, magnetic timbre of his voice sent an involuntary shiver down Ryan's spine. In a surge of adrenaline, he shoved Ethan away, his face flushed with a mixture of anger and confinement. He hissed that they were in public and Ethan should show some restraint. He rubbed his reddened ear and quickly moved to stand behind his father, avoiding Ethan's direct gaze. So much for a happy reunion. Even a simple hug was a power play. Their parents, oblivious, took Ethan's suitcase and headed for the parking garage. Ryan fell into step beside his brother, the sweet orange flavor of the gelato turning bitter on his tongue. He felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold. Ethan didn't press him further, simply pulling out his phone as they walked, tapping out a message to someone. Once in the car, Ryan kept his face turned to the window, feigning interest in the passing scenery. But in his peripheral vision, he watched Ethan. The car was dark, their parents chatting quietly in the front about business. As the engine started, there was a rustle of clothing beside him. Ryan tensed. In the dim light, Ethan leaned closer, his hand reaching past Ryan's ear toward the back of his head. Ryan's internal alarm screamed. He held the ice cream cone like a shield, whispering a low. In the shadows, Ethan's expression was unreadable. He tilted his head, his voice laced with a teasing edge. You forgot your seatbelt." A soft click followed as Ethan's long fingers guided the black strap across Ryan's chest and locked it into place. Such a caring gesture, such a kind smile, such a perfect, considerate brother. A vein throbbed in Ryan's temple. Even the cleaning lady knew he hated being called Ree. His parents had stopped using the nickname when he started high school. Only Ethan delighted in crossing that line, using the diminutive in public and his full name in private, or sometimes just little bastard when he was angry. He was a wolf in sheep's clothing. "It's melting," Ethan said suddenly. Ryan looked at him, confused, asking what was. Ethan answered by taking Ryan's wrist and, leaning over, bit off the last scoop of gelato from the cone, leaving Ryan holding an empty waffle crisp. He then settled back into his seat as if nothing had happened. Ryan stared, dumbfounded. It was his ice cream, and Ethan, who was normally so particular about cleanliness, had just eaten off it. Then again, Ethan had never been squeamish about sharing his food. Long ago, when they were still close, Ryan had been a picky eater. He'd often leave his snacks half-finished, and Ethan would always quietly finish them for him to avoid their parents' lectures. Back then, Ethan was a kind, protective older brother. Who could resist a handsome boy who promised to always look out for you? But as Ethan grew taller and his features sharpened, a distance had grown between them. It started with silence, a cold war that lasted for months, and then Ethan's gaze had changed. The teasing became mocking, the pranks malicious. Only when Ryan was miserable did Ethan seem to smile genuinely. And Ryan, in turn, had evolved from hurt and confused to constantly on guard, ready to fight back. He silently finished the empty cone, and they didn't speak for the rest of the ride home. The family lived in a villa community within the city's second ring road. Their house, a charming two-story structure, had been their home since Ryan was in middle school. It marked the year his father's business had finally taken off. They had never moved, despite their later success. The house held a special meaning for his father. Inside, Ryan kicked off his shoes and headed straight for the kitchen. He washed his hands and offered to help his father with dinner. His dad, removing his fogged-up glasses, teased him, asking when his son had learned to cook. Ryan flushed. He rarely set foot in the kitchen. The greatest expectation his parents had for him was good grades. Life skills could be learned later. They figured in a pinch Ethan could always take care of him. His mother and Ethan went upstairs with the luggage. Ryan, desperate to avoid being on the same floor, insisted he wanted to learn to cook. His father, pleased by his son's rare initiative, handed him a bag of fresh vegetables from the refrigerator and told him to start by washing and prepping them. Ryan took a colander and went to work on the small patio off the kitchen. About half an hour later, his mother came into the kitchen, having changed her clothes. She saw Ryan and asked why he hadn't gone upstairs yet, saying that Ethan was waiting for him. Ryan froze, asking why Ethan would be waiting for him. His mother explained that his brother had brought him gifts from his trip and that he should go get them. Ryan tried to argue that the gifts could wait, but his mother was insistent, pulling him away from the sink and pushing him out of the kitchen. She told him to go play with his brother while the adults made dinner. Play? He stared up the staircase, hesitating before reluctantly making his way to the second floor. At the end of the hall were two adjacent rooms, his and Ethan's. He stood before Ethan's closed mahogany door and knocked, the sound so soft it was barely audible. He counted to 10. When the door didn't open, he turned and went into his own room without a second thought. He found his phone in a desk drawer and messaged his friends. With that done, he felt a wave of boredom. He didn't dare watch TV or play games. He knew his self-control was weak, and getting back into study mode would be difficult. His holiday entertainment usually consisted of hanging out with friends, movies, meals, occasionally sneaking into a club. Those things didn't risk addiction. He lay under his covers for a while, then remembered he was still in his school clothes. He jumped up and went to his closet to find pajamas. As he was changing, his phone rang. The caller ID read, "Caleb Hale." A smile touched Ryan's lips. He answered on speaker, his pants halfway down his legs. "Caleb, you finally remembered to call me." A slightly hoarse, subdued voice came through the speaker. He apologized for being out of touch for so long. Ryan told him not to worry, that everyone missed him. He suggested they meet up during the break. After a pause, Caleb agreed and asked how Ryan had been doing. Ryan replied casually that it was the same old story. Everyone was hitting the books hard for the final year. Caleb chuckled softly on the other end. Ryan asked what was so funny and whether he was in Crestwood now. He told him that Leo and the others really wanted to see him, and that they should meet up this week. He could go to Caleb's place. "Who are you going to see?" A voice interrupted. "Who else?" Ryan answered automatically. "You, of course, who would I?" He trailed off, his movements freezing. He whipped his head toward the doorway. Ethan was leaning against the frame, arms crossed, watching him. The line went silent, except for the faint static from the speaker and Caleb's confused voice asking if everything was okay. Ryan's mind went blank, a hot flush creeping up his neck. He ignored Caleb, his voice tight. "Hey then, don't you know how to knock?" Ethan straightened up, pushed the door shut with his foot, and strode into the room. He took the phone, glanced at the screen, and ended the call. While Ethan was occupied, Ryan quickly pulled on his pajama pants and snatched the phone back. He protested that it was the first time he'd talked to Caleb in ages. Ethan's handsome face was set in a frown. He told Ryan to stay away from strange people like that. He'd heard Caleb had dropped out of school to mess around with supernatural nonsense and that Ryan should cut ties with him. Ryan refused, trying to push him toward the door, repeating that Ethan wasn't allowed in his room without permission. It was a line he'd used countless times, to no effect. Ethan allowed himself to be pushed to the doorway, then suddenly reversed their positions, pinning his younger brother against the door. He blocked Ryan's knee with his leg and patted his cheek, his voice a low, biting whisper. "Little bastard. A whole year and the first thing you do when you see your brother is bite." Ryan was trapped, his face pressed against the cool wood of the door. He said nothing, his eyes downcast. This was the real Ethan. Malicious, arrogant, and a bully. Ethan leaned in closer, his voice soft. "Cat got your tongue? Or are you going to play the victim again to get out of this?" He knew every one of Ryan's tricks. Realizing his usual tactics were useless, Ryan closed his eyes, a flicker of annoyance crossing his face. He mumbled that he hadn't done anything to provoke him. Ethan repeated the question, a slow smile spreading across his lips. "Even if you didn't, I can still mess with you." Ryan could only glare at him in response. Ethan looked down at the loose collar of Ryan's navy pajamas, his gaze lingering for a moment on the pale skin of his neck before returning to his face. He proposed a deal. If Ryan said something nice, he would let him go. Ryan asked for an example. Ethan suggested calling him brother, or saying he missed him, or even apologizing. The smile on his face was pure malice. Ryan closed his eyes again. "In your dreams." Ethan sighed dramatically, saying that if Ryan refused, he would have to hold him there all day. An idea formed in Ryan's mind. He conceded, telling Ethan to let him go first. Ethan released him, a knowing smile on his face, waiting for the performance. Ryan lunged, wrapping his arms around Ethan's waist and tackling him. They stumbled backward, landing on the soft gray rug by the bed. Ryan straddled him, triumphantly pinning him to the floor, his hands playfully circling Ethan's neck. "Brother," he crowed, "I missed you like a hole in the head. Every day you were gone was a good day." Ethan lay flat on the rug, his gaze fixed on Ryan's face. "Is that so?" he said quietly. "I wasn't so happy." Ryan raised an eyebrow, laughing. "The great Ethan Price wasn't happy? That just makes me even happier." With that, he stood up, stepped over Ethan's long legs, and left the room, humming a cheerful tune. Ethan slowly sat up, the image of his brother's carefree, mocking smile replaying in his mind. His own expression darkened. The little bastard really needed to be taught a lesson. Ryan slammed his bedroom door shut and practically flew down the stairs, afraid Ethan might follow. He flicked on the TV in the living room, peeled an orange from the fruit bowl on the coffee table, and settled onto the sofa to reply to his friend's messages. He didn't see Ethan again until dinner was ready. Ethan came downstairs wearing a matching set of pajamas, his hair still damp from a shower. His parents were busy bringing dishes to the table. Ethan rolled up his sleeves to help. Soon, his mother called from the kitchen, asking where Ryan was and telling him to come set the table. The TV was loud, and Ryan, buried in the sofa cushions, pretended not to hear. "Mom, don't call him." "I'll do it," Ethan said, placing a tureen of soup on the table. He told her to let Ryan rest, since his break had just started. His mother disagreed, saying that Ethan always spoiled him. She pointed out that Ryan would be off to college soon and needed to learn how to take care of himself and a future family. Ethan opened a glass cabinet and took out several plates, a slight smile on his lips. He remarked that Ryan was only 18 and she was already planning his life at 28. He added jokingly that if Ryan never settled down, he could always support him. His mother laughed, dismissing the idea as absurd. She said that a boy like Ryan, who was a late bloomer, needed to marry early to mature. Just then, a disgruntled voice came from the living room. "Mom, what are you saying about me now?" Ryan appeared, washed his hands, and sat down at the table, declaring it was time to eat and they should talk about something else. His mother playfully tapped his head. At the table, she asked if he had seen the gifts his brother brought him and why he hadn't said thank you. Ryan, in the middle of sipping his soup, paused. Gifts? He then remembered being sent upstairs for that very reason. He mumbled that they had been talking and he hadn't had a chance to look. He asked Ethan what he had brought. He was curious what kind of gift had his mother so concerned. Ethan, sitting opposite him, put down his utensils. He said it was meant to be a surprise that Ryan would know when he saw it. Ryan gave a humorless smile. He could guess what it was. It was his 18th birthday recently, and Ethan was making up for his absence. The celebration had been postponed due to citywide exams, but Ethan never missed a birthday. His gifts, however, were always perfunctory and always the same: a watch. Every year, a new, expensive brand-name watch, a gesture that felt more like a monetary transaction than a thoughtful present. Ryan had no expectations, but his mother chimed in, saying that for his 18th birthday, Ethan had prepared more than just a watch. Ryan glanced at Ethan, who was smiling gently. There was an unexpected light in his eyes, a flicker of something that looked almost like nervous anticipation, as if he were afraid his surprise had been spoiled. If Crestwood ever needed an award-winning actor, Ethan would be the undisputed champion. Ryan pushed aside the strange feeling and continued eating. The conversation shifted away from him, focusing entirely on Ethan. His father poured Ethan a bowl of fish soup and hesitated before speaking. He told Ethan that his mother had been calling, that she wanted to see him. The atmosphere at the table instantly tensed. His father, frowning, continued. She wanted to take him to meet the Astor family, to formally introduce him to her new husband. He had refused, but she was insistent on at least seeing Ethan. The final decision, of course, was Ethan's. Ryan's grip on his chopsticks tightened. He glanced at his own mother and was relieved to see she didn't look upset, just resolute. The mother his father referred to was Ethan's biological mother. Ryan knew little about the family's past, only that after his father's company went bankrupt years ago, Ethan had initially been given to his more financially stable mother. But for reasons he never fully understood, she had failed to care for him properly, and his father had angrily taken him back. For years, she had shown no interest in introducing Ethan to her new family. Why now? Would the Astors even acknowledge a stepson with no blood relation? It seemed like a strange proposition. Ethan, however, seemed unfazed. He smiled lightly and told his father not to worry about it. He had no intention of seeing her, let alone acknowledging her as his mother. As for the legal custody, he would figure something out. Hearing this, his father seemed to gain confidence. Ethan then turned to his parents, a playful tone in his voice, asking what their thoughts were, hoping they were all on the same side. His mother reacted strongly, dropping her chopsticks and giving him a mock-angry glare. She asked if he was trying to provoke her. She declared that even if his biological mother had married a king, they would never sell him for status. The Astors could want whatever they wanted. It wouldn't change a thing. Ethan immediately leaned over and hugged her, reassuring her that he knew they would always stand by him. His father agreed emphatically. Ethan's last name was Price, not Astor, and that was final. After dinner, their parents left for a walk, leaving the two brothers alone. The gentle expression vanished from Ethan's face as he went upstairs to make a phone call. Ryan was still lingering at the table when a small black box appeared on the tablecloth. Ethan had returned, pulling out a chair beside him. He told him it was the watch, and that the other gifts were in his room. He should come get them later. Ryan nodded dismissively, saying he was still eating. Ethan leaned back in his chair, his long legs stretched out, and studied him. He asked why Ryan had been so quiet during the discussion at dinner. Ryan, his mouth full, mumbled that it had nothing to do with him. Ethan's lips thinned. "What do you mean it has nothing to do with you? Say that again." His voice had dropped, a familiar prelude to his anger. Ryan put down his bowl, feigning innocence. "My dear brother, what did I do now? It was Ethan's mother, not his. It really had nothing to do with him." Ethan's face was cold. He asked if Ryan truly had no thoughts on the matter. Ryan, sensing the trap, decided to play dumb. He clasped his hands together in a congratulatory gesture. "The Astors are one of the richest families in the state. You'd be a semi-heir. What can I say except congratulations on your promotion?" Ethan grabbed his wrist, his voice a low growl. "Ryan." Ryan laughed, trying to pull away, realizing he had pushed too far. But Ethan didn't let go. With his free hand, he began to tickle Ryan's most sensitive spots until Ryan was breathless with laughter, tears streaming down his face. They tumbled from their chairs onto the rug just as the doorbell rang, followed by a series of sharp knocks. They both froze. It was too early for their parents to be back. Ryan scrambled out from under Ethan, him not to try anything while he went to answer the door. He opened it to a blast of Arctic air. A tall boy in a puffy white down jacket, looking like the Michelin Man, stood on their porch grinning. "Ryan," he shouted, throwing an ice-cold arm around his neck. "Let me in. Leo, you're freezing," Ryan yelped, pulling him inside and shutting the door. He asked what he was doing there so late. Leo shucked off his jacket, bending down to look for his usual pair of slippers. He explained he was bored at home alone and wanted to plan their get-together for the next day. Then he paused, asking where his slippers were. Ryan remembered. "Oh, my brother's back, so my mom put them away. Hold on, I'll get them for you." Leo grabbed his arm, his brow furrowed. "Wait, what did you just say? Your brother?" Ryan nodded, pointing toward the living room and whispering that Ethan was in just as foul a mood as ever and that Leo should be careful. Leo frowned, asking why Ryan hadn't mentioned this. He also checked if his parents were home. Ryan explained they were out for a walk. He felt a sharp poke in his side and dodged away from Leo's hand. Leo scowled at him. "You get the slippers. I'll go say hello." He kicked off his snow boots and padded into the living room in his socks. Ryan watched with a sense of grim satisfaction before heading off to find his friend's slippers. If there was one person who could see through Ethan's perfect facade, it was Ryan. And if there was one person who believed Ryan's tales of brotherly tyranny, it was Leo. For years, Ryan had endured envious comments from others about his wonderful, gentle older brother. Only Leo, his childhood friend and staunchest ally, understood the truth and shared his indignation. Leo walked into the living room and saw Ethan on the sofa, looking up at him. Ethan seemed taller, his features more defined than Leo remembered, and he was wearing pajamas that were jarringly similar to Ryan's. A strange possessiveness stirred in Leo. It wasn't just about Ryan. It was about the comfortable space he had carved out for himself in this house. A space that now felt invaded. The Price and King families had been neighbors for years. While Ethan was away, Leo had been a fixture in the house, with his own slippers at the door and an open invitation to stay over. That was all threatened now. He sat on the opposite sofa, trying to think of an opening salvo. But Ethan spoke first, standing up with a polite smile. He asked if Leo was there for anything urgent. Then he turned to get him a glass of water, his tall, lean frame making Leo feel a pang of insecurity. Ethan returned and placed the glass in front of him, an amused look on his face. "What are you staring at, Leo? Lost for words?" Leo snapped out of it, offering a polite, "Long time no see, Ethan." His own style was more ruggedly handsome, with a row of silver studs in his ear that glinted when he smiled. Ethan inclined his head. "You didn't answer my question. Why are you here so late?" "To see Ryan, of course," Leo said. "A few of us are getting together tomorrow." Ethan nodded, not objecting. He commented that Ryan hadn't mentioned it to him, adding that kids should always let their parents know their plans. He was concerned for his safety. Leo scoffed. "He's almost in college, Ethan. It's not like he needs a babysitter." Ethan was only 2 years older, yet he was acting like a parent. Ethan sat down opposite him, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. "Early relationships?" He mused, the words laced with an odd, mocking tone. Leo's rebellious streak flared. "Yeah, but Ryan won't have that problem, will he? Not with you watching him so closely. You even take care of it for him, don't you?" He was thinking of the time Ryan had been crushed to see the girl he liked walking with Ethan. The injustice of it still angered him. Ethan always seemed to steal whatever his brother wanted, only to discard it later. But Ethan was unfazed. He replied coolly that those girls weren't worthy of Ryan's affection anyway. Leo countered with a smirk. "You're right. That's why I don't approve of him dating them either. He's got me. I'm not going to change my mind." The challenge was clear. A frost settled in Ethan's calm eyes. "Is that so?" he said softly. "Well, none of this was ever yours to begin with, and your help is no longer required." Leo shot to his feet just as Ryan came running down the stairs with a pair of black slippers. He urged Leo to put them on, and Leo, taking them, grabbed his friend's wrist. "Let's go to your room to talk." He paused, glancing back at the composed figure of Ethan. "Your brother doesn't seem interested in our plans, right?" Ethan stood up gracefully. "No need to trouble yourselves. I'll go upstairs." As he reached the middle of the staircase, he stopped and tapped the railing, his sharp gaze fixed on Ryan. His voice was soft, but carried a clear command. "You have a few months until your college entrance exams. I'll be monitoring your activities. Where you go, who you're with, what you do. I expect regular reports." He smiled then, a chillingly pleasant expression. "But it is a vacation. You should relax. Just don't be home too late tomorrow, or I'll come and get you myself." Then he disappeared onto the second floor. Leo pulled on Ryan's sleeve. "He's just putting on a show." Ryan looked amazed. "What did you say to him?" "He's actually letting me go." Leo rolled his eyes. "That's how he gets you. He acts all magnanimous, then stabs you in the back." They quickly made their plans. Leo would come by the next afternoon, and they would leave together. "You have to sneak over," Ryan insisted. "And I'll sneak out. I have to hide it from Ethan. He wants me to report my schedule to him? No way. My own mom doesn't even do that." After Leo left, Ryan cleared the table and headed for his room. He paused outside Ethan's closed door but couldn't bring himself to enter. He had learned his lesson long ago, during the summer after his freshman year of high school. His mother had cut up a platter of fruit and asked him to call his brother downstairs. He had knocked, but there was no answer. He knocked again, calling out, but was met with silence. He had waited, his patience thinning. Lately, Ethan had been distant, their shared language dwindling. Annoyed by the silence, Ryan had called out a final and pushed the door open. Ethan's room was neat, the air filled with a faint, clean scent. He wasn't in bed. He was at his desk by the window, slumped over a book, asleep. The setting sun cast a rosy, golden light through the curtains, bathing his slender form in a hazy glow. Ryan was struck by his brother's beauty, a quality he had always been proud of, but now it felt different, elevated, as if he were looking at a figure from a painting. It created a strange, unbridgeable distance. He tiptoed closer. Ethan was resting his head on his arm, his wrist lying on an open book of poetry. Ryan studied his sleeping face, the long lashes, the strong brow, the fine line of his jaw. He was frowning slightly, as if troubled by a dream. Ryan was curious about his brother's high school life, a world he was not yet a part of. He picked up one of Ethan's textbooks, baffled by the complex equations. Then he gently slid the book of poetry out from under Ethan's hand. It was by Borges. Inside, tucked between the pages, was a sheet of paper covered in Ethan's handwriting. Over and over, he had written 2 words, Ryan Price. The script started neat and strong, but grew progressively larger, wilder, the strokes gouging into the paper as if written with immense frustration and turmoil. Why had he written his name like that, with such vehemence, like an enemy's? Ryan stared, stunned and afraid. Just then, Ethan stirred. He opened his eyes, his gaze unfocused at first, then sharpening on Ryan's face, a dark intensity gathering within them. "Brother," Ryan stammered, stepping back. "I didn't mean to." Ethan rose slowly, his expression blank. He grabbed Ryan's wrist, his eyes falling to the book and the paper in his hand. His voice was a strange, angry rasp. "You again?" Ryan looked up, blinded by the setting sun. What did he mean, again? He was thrown against the wall, Ethan's hand closing around his neck. Why are you always bothering me?" Ethan's face was inches from his breath warm, his eyes deep and unsettling. Ryan had never seen him like this. His voice, which Ryan had always found so pleasant, was now foreign and menacing. The look in his eyes was something Ryan couldn't decipher, a hot, churning emotion. His fingers, cool from sleep, tightened on Ryan's skin, sending a shiver through him. "Brother, I'm sorry," he choked out. At his words, clarity seemed to return to Ethan's eyes, as if waking from a trance. He released him abruptly. Ryan coughed, rubbing his throat. Ethan looked at his own hand, then back at Ryan, his expression complex. "Get out," he ordered, "and don't come into my room again without my permission." Ryan, hurt and angry, had retorted that he would never enter his room again. He had fled, the book and the paper fluttering to the floor at Ethan's feet. Their relationship had shattered that day. Now they maintained a fragile peace, but Ryan would never risk crossing that threshold again. He was a risk-averse person, and the memory of that Ethan was a risk he was unwilling to take. So he did not open the door, did not ask for his gifts. He went to his room, locked the door, and went to sleep. He woke up hungry the next morning around 11:30. He pulled on a sweater and sweatpants and went downstairs. His mother was in the kitchen. He asked why she hadn't woken him. She told him his father and brother had been up early, and Ethan had insisted on letting him sleep in. He asked what Ethan was doing up so early, and she said he probably had things to take care of. After a simple lunch, Ryan mentioned his plans with his friends for the evening. His mother agreed without question, telling him to just be home at a reasonable hour. She and his father were heading to their hometown for the night and wouldn't be back. That afternoon, Leo called. With Ethan gone, there was no need for secrecy. Ryan got ready and walked out the front door to meet his friend's car. The first thing Leo asked was if his brother was around. Ryan assured him he wasn't. They drove toward the city center to meet the others at a restaurant. There were 6 of them in total, a tight-knit group of friends. Ryan and another boy, Zeke, were the decent students. The others were wealthy slackers who didn't need to worry about their futures. It was a point of contention with Ethan, who disapproved of Ryan's friends. They found the rest of the group in a private room. Ryan immediately went to hug Caleb, exclaiming how much he'd missed him. Caleb, looking pale and withdrawn, returned the hug briefly. The group asked about his plans, but he said he had none, that he'd lost interest in everything. Zeke tried to cheer him up, telling him not to dwell on the past. Another boy chimed in, saying that what happened at that banquet wasn't his fault, that it had been a tragic accident. He pointed out that Ryan had also suddenly fallen ill and been hospitalized that night, suggesting the whole event was cursed. At the mention of it, Ryan's face stiffened. Leo, noticing his discomfort, quickly changed the subject. After dinner, Zeke suggested they go to a bar he knew. Everyone agreed. As they were leaving, Leo accidentally bumped into Caleb, and several small, folded paper talismans fell from Caleb's pocket, landing near Ryan. He picked them up, his eyes wide. "Caleb, what are these? Give them back." Caleb snatched them from his hand. Ryan asked if they were for protection. They looked strange, not like any talismans he'd ever seen. They seemed designed to attract spirits, not repel them. Had Caleb really started believing in this stuff just as Ethan had said? Caleb didn't answer, just rubbed his temples wearily and said he had to go. It took all of them to persuade him to stay. The bar Zeke had chosen was in an alley across from their high school. Inside, the dim lights and pounding music were a world away from the quiet, snow-covered street. Zeke explained he had booked a private room with a pool table upstairs. As they walked through the crowd, Leo complained about being so close to school. Another boy nudged him, saying this was where all the good students secretly came to play. Zeke laughed and turned to Ryan. "Hey Ryan, I heard you can hire company here. Want me to get a few girls for you?" Ryan shook his head. "We came here to drink, not for that. I'm not interested." Zeke teased him about being an adult who'd never even held a girl's hand, contrasting him with the rest of their more experienced group. Ryan had heard it all before. It was all Ethan's fault, anyway. In the private room, the server, noting their age, didn't offer any inappropriate services. Ryan, a lightweight, stuck to fruit ciders and chatted with Caleb. Later, Zeke made a bet that if Ryan got drunk, he would have some romantic luck that night. No one believed him. While Ryan was in the restroom, his drink was secretly switched. When he returned, his friends began toasting him repeatedly. He didn't feel drunk, but a hot flush spread across his face and neck. He grew quiet, scrolling through his phone. Suddenly, Caleb stood up and rushed out of the room. Ryan, concerned, threw on his jacket and followed. He called Caleb's name, but he had already vanished into the crowd. Ryan chased him out of the bar but lost him in the street. As he stood catching his breath in the cold air, he heard a loud crash as a nearby window shattered. A girl burst out of the bar, followed by several menacing-looking men armed with broken beer bottles. Her eyes darted around and landed on Ryan. She ran to him, grabbing his arm. "Ryan Price. I know you. Please help me." A cloud of floral perfume enveloped him. What was happening? Could Zeke's prediction actually be coming true? The men advanced, one of them pointing a jagged bottleneck at them. "Hand her over," he snarled. "Or you're getting a beating too." Ryan looked at the girl. She claimed the men had accused her of stealing and were trying to search her. She insisted it was a setup. The men charged. The girl cowered behind Ryan. A surge of adrenaline shot through him. He stepped forward, grabbing the man's wrist and forcing him to drop the bottle. A chaotic brawl erupted. Ryan pushed the girl ahead, telling her to run and call the police. But she clung to his wrist, insisting they go together. As a man swung a baseball bat from behind, Ryan instinctively shielded her head, taking the blow across his back. His hand was struck hard as he tried to block another swing. Then he heard Leo's furious voice shouting from the bar's entrance. The fight broke up. Leo and the others rushed out. The girl, no longer trembling, helped Ryan up. Leo glared at her, demanding to know who she was and why she had dragged his friend into her mess. She explained meekly that she knew Ryan from a school band recital. He played the alto flute and she played the drums. Ryan had a vague memory of it but couldn't place her face. She asked if she could leave, promising to thank him properly at school. Leo waved her away dismissively. Zeke returned from talking to the bar manager. He said the bar insisted the girl was a thief and they had proof on their security cameras. He asked if Ryan was okay. Ryan pulled at his collar, saying he was fine, but his shirt was soaked from the snow that had fallen on him during the fight. Zeke then asked if he had checked his pockets, if anything was missing. Ryan checked. His phone and wallet were there. "What about what's on you?" Zeke prompted. "I've never seen you without your watch." Ryan pulled back his sleeve. His left wrist was bare, a long, thin scar visible in the dim light. The watch was gone. He quickly covered the scar, suggesting it must have fallen off during the scuffle. The boys searched the area with their phone flashlights, but it was no use. Ryan was visibly upset. Zeke told him the girl had almost certainly lifted it. It was then that Ryan realized the girl's story about calling the police had probably been a lie too. He insisted he never lost his watches, that this was a first. The damp cold was seeping into his bones, but he couldn't stop looking. Leo offered him his own watch, but Ryan just shook his head, saying, "It's fine. Out with the old, in with the new." Zeke insisted on taking him to a nearby mall for dry clothes. In the taxi, Caleb, who had reappeared during the commotion, suddenly spoke. "I think I saw a friend." When asked who, he said quietly, "I thought I saw Evan Hayes." Zeke and Ryan stared at him. Ryan pulled his collar tighter. "Are you drunk? Evan Hayes is dead." The car fell into a heavy silence. Caleb finally admitted he must have been mistaken. At a brightly lit clothing store in the mall, the eerie feeling from the bar began to dissipate. Ryan, who had been shivering and sneezing, quickly grabbed some clothes and went into a fitting room. While Zeke and Caleb waited, Ryan's phone, in the pocket of his discarded jacket, began to ring. The caller ID was just a string of numbers with the moniker The Tyrant. Zeke answered cautiously. A sharp voice on the other end demanded to know where he was. Zeke, annoyed, asked who was calling. After a moment of silence, a low, dangerous chuckle came through the line. "I'm his brother. Put Ryan on the phone now." Zeke's demeanor changed instantly. "Oh, Ethan. Sorry, man, the screen didn't show a name. Ryan's fine, just trying on some clothes. I'll text you the address." After the call, Caleb gave him a questioning look. Zeke just grinned. Don't tell the others. I want to surprise them." When Ryan emerged in his new clothes, Caleb insisted on paying for them as a belated birthday gift. They returned to the bar, where Leo told them the security footage confirmed the girl had stolen something, though it was too blurry to see exactly what. The manager, eager to placate the group of wealthy teens, had moved them to a quieter upstairs room with a fresh round of drinks on the house. Ryan's head was spinning. The alcohol, combined with the cold and the fight, had left him feeling dazed. His face and neck were still burning. Zeke challenged him to a game of pool. Ryan agreed, but as he leaned over the table to break, a wave of dizziness washed over him. His shot was weak. Zeke whistled. "What's wrong? Still thinking about that girl who scammed you?" Ryan set down his cue, his face dark. It was his turn again. He took a deep breath, trying to focus, but his hands were trembling. Suddenly, a shadow fell over him. A hand closed around his wrist, and his pool cue clattered to the floor. "Ethan," Zeke said from across the room. "You made it." Ethan's body was cold from the outside air. He held Ryan's wrist, giving a brief nod to the others. Ryan stumbled back, and Ethan steadied him. His gaze dropped to Ryan's bare wrist. He asked, his voice deceptively soft. "Where's the watch I gave you?" It was the one question Ryan didn't want to answer. He knew what would come next. Mockery, disdain, being called an idiot. "Tell me, where is the watch?" Ethan asked again. "Stop asking. It's annoying," Ryan snapped, pulling his hand away. "I threw it away." The smile on Ethan's face vanished. Zeke quickly tried to intervene, explaining that Ryan had had a bit too much to drink and had lost it in the restroom. The others chimed in, trying to smooth things over. Ethan's eyes never left his brother's flushed face. "Drunk, is he? Fine. I'll go with you to the restroom to find it." He started pulling Ryan toward the door. Ryan resisted, saying it was just a watch, that he had plenty at home. He stopped, closing his eyes as a wave of nausea hit him. Ethan turned, and in the dim light of the bar, he saw the pained expression on Ryan's face. His own expression hardened. He placed a cool hand on his brother's forehead. It was burning. He pulled Ryan against him, his fingers checking the pulse on his neck. He was feverish. He looked at the others, his voice dangerously low. "He's sick. Why did you let him keep drinking?" Leo pushed through the group. "Ryan, are you okay?" But before he could reach them, Ethan had grabbed Ryan's new jacket, expertly dressing him and pulling him close. "That won't be necessary. I'm taking him to the hospital. You all have a good night." He led Ryan out of the room, leaving no room for argument. Leo grabbed his own coat and followed, but the crowded bar seemed to conspire against him, and by the time he got outside, Ethan was already helping Ryan into a car. At the emergency room, the nurse confirmed a high fever of 102 degrees. As Ryan lay on the bed, dazed and nauseous, Ethan worked with a professional efficiency, setting up in 4 drip before the nurse even returned. Ryan thought he saw Leo at the door and mumbled that he must be hallucinating. "He's been following us," Ethan said coolly. "It's not a hallucination." Ryan asked him to tell Leo to go home, but Ethan just laughed, a humorless, angry sound. "Why should I do that for you? You're burning up and you're still worried about someone else." "Give me your arm," Ethan commanded. Ryan offered his right arm, not his left. Ethan sat beside him, his handsome profile focused as he expertly found a vein and inserted the needle. Just then, Leo entered the room, horrified to see what Ethan was doing. He started to protest, to call for a nurse, but Ethan didn't even look at him. When the 4 was running smoothly, he finally turned to Leo, a ghost of a smile on his face. "Don't worry. I've done this for him many times since we were kids. He ruffled Ryan's hair. I'll be back with some water. With Ethan gone, Leo sat by the bed, asking how Ryan was feeling. They talked for a bit, but then Ryan's face went pale. He clutched his stomach, telling Leo to move away just before he was violently sick. Leo jumped back, stunned. Before he could call for a doctor, Ethan was there. He handed Ryan a glass of water, helped him sit up, supported his back, and held a trash can for him, his movements calm and practiced. Then he looked at Leo, who was standing uselessly by the door. "You can go now," he said, his voice flat. He doesn't like having other people around when this happens. Leo left, a profound sense of uselessness washing over him. He was the outsider. Whatever their issues, the bond between the two brothers was a closed circuit. He had no place in it. In the quiet hospital room, once Ryan was settled, Ethan handed him a cup of water to rinse his mouth. Ethan's practice care was born from a time years ago when Ryan had been seriously ill. Ethan had been his primary caretaker then, a responsibility that had forged a deep, unspoken connection between them. Even now, with all their animosity, that connection remained. Ryan looked at his left wrist, at the empty space where the watch used to be. The scar seemed more prominent than ever. He was lost in thought when he felt a tug at the back of his neck. "What's this?" Ethan asked, holding up the price tag from his new sweater. Ryan explained he'd forgotten to cut it off. Ethan asked if the new clothes were related to his getting sick. Ryan admitted that he had gotten his clothes wet and had to buy new ones. "Who got them wet?" Ethan pressed, his voice low and threatening. Ryan recounted the night's events, leaving out the details about the girl stealing his watch. Ethan listened, his brow furrowed. "From now on," he said, "you don't hide anything from me, and you report your plans." Ryan, too weak to argue, just nodded. It was nearly 2 in the morning when they got home. Ryan took a quick shower and fell into a deep, feverish sleep. Around 11 that night, his phone buzzed. Ethan, who had been checking on him, stepped out into the hall to answer it. It was Zeke, who, after hearing Ryan was asleep, recounted the entire story of the evening, including how upset Ryan had been about losing the watch Ethan had given him. He asked Ethan not to be too hard on him. In the dim hallway, Ethan's grip on the phone tightened. He looked at his brother's sleeping form. "I won't blame him," he said softly. The fever lingered for days, followed by a hacking cough. When Ryan finally woke up properly, his first thought was of the lost watch. He felt a pang of regret and financial anxiety. Ethan's gifts were always expensive. He reached under his pillow for his phone to look up the price, but it wasn't there. It was on his nightstand, just out of reach. As he stretched for it, a sharp pain shot through his aching muscles. A knock came at the door. "Ryan, get up." It was Ethan. He was leaning against the doorframe, casually playing a new handheld gaming console, the very one Ryan had been coveting for months. "Breakfast is getting cold," he said, his lazy, arrogant demeanor back in full force. Ryan ignored the console and got out of bed. "It's the limited ion," Ethan continued, dangling the console tantalizingly. "It's okay, I guess. You can have it if you want." "No thanks," Ryan grumbled, heading for the bathroom. "I can afford my own." "Ah, I forgot about your little savings," Ethan said, a smirk playing on his lips. "That must be how you afford to go out with those friends of yours. I'll have Mom confiscate it when she gets back." "Ethan." Ryan's hoarse voice cracked with indignation. Ethan just smiled, satisfied, and disappeared downstairs. Ryan came down to find a pot of congee on the table. Ethan was on the sofa, engrossed in his game. He told Ryan to eat up, as he had to go out soon. Ryan sat down and began to eat. The food was delicious, perfectly suited to his delicate stomach. The only sounds in the quiet house were the electronic beeps from the game and the clinking of Ryan's spoon against his bowl. When the "you win" graphic flashed on the screen, Ethan tossed the console aside and retrieved several bottles of medicine. He placed them on the table in front of Ryan. "Take these, and get your own water. I'm not your servant." Ryan said nothing, simply got up and went to the kitchen. As he waited for the water dispenser to fill his glass, his eyes were drawn to the oven. Years ago, when he was sick, Ethan would bake him little cakes and pastries to cheer him up. But that was a long time ago. He stared at the dark, empty oven until the hot water overflowed, splashing onto his feet and breaking the spell.